Golden Tate. Where will he end up? That is something we will be talking about in today's video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we heard word from Golden Tate himself talking about some of the, places he might like to end up, and a name on that list, or a team on that list, I should say, was the Tennessee Titans. So that's something we're going to talk about today. He also stated that the Colts and the Rams are on his list as well. So we'll talk about each team and what he will do for each individual team. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, I want to talk about, we'll talk about the Colts and why I think he would best help them. Because, the Colts do need, in my opinion, I do think they can improve wide receiver wise, because T.Y. Hilton as your one, I believe Michael Pittman is their 2, and Paris Campbell is their 3. I think they also have Zach Pascal. I'm sure they got a couple other guys too, but those are really the main guys that come to my head. But I think Golden Tate could help them out tremendously. I think Golden Tate is still a premier wide receiver in the league. I'm not saying he is still what he was, but I still think he can produce numbers that will help a team improve their chances, of winning. So, in my opinion, out of those 3 teams that we named earlier, I think that I could definitely see Golden Tate immediately having an impact for the Indianapolis Colts. So yeah, I think out of those 3 teams that I mentioned earlier, the Titans, the Rams, and the Colts, I think he would best help the Colts instead of the Rams and the Titans. I'll tell you why. We'll go ahead and hop into the Rams now. So the Rams, they obviously the 2 guys there, the 2-headed monster, you got Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. They also signed Deshaun Jackson in free agency, and they got a young Van Jefferson who is not too bad. God, what's that? I think is it Tutu Atwell as well? Is another guy that comes to my head. I think that's it for the guys that I know. Obviously, there's going to have to be, some more depth there. But those are the main guys that come to my head. So, obviously, the real reason he would want to go to L.A. is to reunite with his former quarterback, Matthew Stafford, who I think Stafford will be a very good quarterback. Like, he's been a very good quarterback. He's just had some trouble winning. And it's the Detroit Lions' fault, in my opinion. I think Matthew Stafford is going to have a fantastic year in Los Angeles, so Golden Tate would obviously help the case for the Rams to go ahead and, improve their chances of winning a Super Bowl, because that's really their main goal. Obviously, that's every team's goal, but obviously the Rams, with them, trading away their quarterback in exchange for Matthew Stafford, obviously their quarterback as in Jared Goff, obviously they think they definitely got an upgrade because they traded more away to get Matthew Stafford, and I do think they got an upgrade as well, because I think Matthew Stafford has definitely been a guy that's been in the shadow for a long time, and hopefully he can definitely prove a lot of people wrong. He's not a loser. He can prove himself this year, and I do think that Golden Tate would help us, help out Matthew Stafford. They probably have a pretty good connection with each other, so I wouldn't be surprised if that, and I would definitely think it would help them out, because then they would have two elite wide receivers, and then Deshaun Jackson and Golden Tate are two very good receivers still, older age, but still can produce very solid numbers. So, you pair up Golden Tate with Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Deshaun Jackson. That's a scary, four wide receiver core right there. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised at that. Like I said before, I think the Colts would have Golden Tate would make he would have more impact on the Colts than he would the Rams, because the Rams, I think, obviously they have, much better wide receivers, in my opinion, than the Colts do. So, I could see Golden Tate having a bigger impact, on the Colts than he would the Rams. But either way, depending on what Golden Tate's plans are, is he wanting to win a Super Bowl? Is he wanting to, still produce decent, have a good bit of catches? If he wants, to win a Super Bowl, I'd probably either go to the. Let me hold on there for a second. But if he wants to have a good, stat line for the year, I'd probably, if I was Golden Tate, I'd probably go to the Colts. You still have a chance to win a Super Bowl. But there's a lot of questions surrounding, obviously, Carson Wentz. We don't know how he's going to play. Is he going to play, MVP Carson Wentz, or is he going to play that last year's Carson Wentz? We just don't know. That's another question that still has to be answered. You won't know it, until, the start of the season. So, who knows there? But we'll talk about the Tennessee Titans now. It's probably what you guys have been waiting on. So, the Tennessee Titans here, obviously, two big-name wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. We also have a very good number 3 receiver in Josh Reynolds. I love Josh Reynolds. I think he can have a fantastic year next year. I think if he puts up between 500 800 yards, I will be very, very happy with Josh Reynolds. I think he is a guy that can go out and get you 500, 600, maybe even 700, 800 yards, because he's going to have a lot more, a lot of chances, because Julio and AJ are going to be drawing the most attention, and he might slip out and get open. So I'm very excited to see how Josh Reynolds plays. And same with Anthony Firkser. I think Firkser is going to have that same type of, all the attention is going to be drawn on A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and I think Anthony Firkser will have a sneaky good year next year. I really do think Firkser is going to be a very good tight end next year, if we don't end up trading for a Zach Ertz or someone like that. But honestly, I would be A-okay if we just held on to old Ferk and let him do his thing next year, because I really do think you can throw any tight end that, offense, and they'll do well, because they're going to get their opportunities, and especially Firkser. Last year, he had a couple very, very good games. Like, I think he had at least one 100-yard receiving game. I think it was like 121 yards, a touchdown earlier last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was earlier last year, but he had like a 120-yard game. He showed some promise when Jonnu, didn't have as many snaps. So, very excited to see how Firkser does. But let's talk about Golden Tate. He is the man of the video. Golden Tate, in my opinion, if you throw him in this offense, obviously it gets even better, because Golden Tate has proven that he can do, very, very good things in his, past in his career. So, again, with me being a big Josh Reynolds fan, I wouldn't be mad at the pickup of Golden Tate. It will depend on what the contract looks like. And again, if he's trying to win a Super Bowl, he might go on some sort of, much cheaper contract than what he's been on. I think he's been getting paid around $9-10 million a year. So, obviously, that's going to have to be cut down a good bit for me to be happy about the acquisition of Golden Tate, if that is the case. In my opinion, I think the Titans have around $9 million left in cap. So, unless I feel like that money could go elsewhere instead of Golden Tate, because I feel like our wide receiver core is very good right now, and our wide receiving core the wide receiver core we have can win us a Super Bowl, okay? So, not just them, but the core we have is definitely capable of being a Super Bowl champion, So, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Josh Reynolds, those three players right there with Derrick Henry, our offense is already very, very good. Obviously, it would be nice to have Golden Tate, but at the end of the day, that money, that $9 million that we have, could go elsewhere. You know, there's still Richard Sherman out there. I think, you know, there might be a couple other veterans out there that are, you know, might be ring chasing, and they might take, you know, a pay cut. But I feel like with our $9 million that we have left, you know, we could trade for a tight end, whether that be Zach Ertz or not, I don't know. But there's just a lot of other places that I would not mind spending the money instead of spending it on Golden Tate, because like I said before, our wide receiving core is already insanely good at this point. A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Josh Reynolds, and then, you know, I guess you could add, you know, you could add Golden Tate to that list, but for how much, that's the question. And again, he might be ring chasing, so he might, you know, not ask for a lot of money. Probably a 1-year deal would make the most sense to me, obviously. So, obviously, the other wide receivers we have, Dez Fitzpatrick, Cameron Batson. You've got NWI. I think McMath, Racey McMath, Chester Rogers. You also have Cody Hollister is another guy. Kalijah Lipscomb. Might be missing a couple. Fred Brown. I think Marcus Johnson. I think I just listed off the whole wide receiver, whole roster there for the wide receivers. But like you got guys like that I think can have a very good year as well. That are deep on the roster, but they can definitely step in and produce. So in my opinion, I wouldn't mind Golden Tate, but at the end of the day, I feel like the money could go elsewhere for us to pick up someone else, whether that be through free agency, through a trade. I feel like wide receiving, our wide receivers already are very good, so I wouldn't be mad. It would depend on what the contract situation looked like if we ended up picking him up. But again, he's a solid veteran player that I feel like, deserves to win a Super Bowl. If you throw him on that, the Rams offense, I think that would be an awesome fit for him. And I'll go ahead and say, it comes down to Golden Tate, what his mindset is. Does he want to go out and have another great year stat-wise, or is he trying to ring chase and get a Super Bowl? But if that's the case, if he wants to, have a good year stat-wise, I would probably go to the Colts. You still have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Not many big-name receivers there, so you're going to get your touches, get your catches, and all that good stuff. But if you want to ring chase, you can go to a stacked team already, like the Titans, like the Rams, and have less catches, less yards, but have a higher chance of winning a Super Bowl. It all depends on what he's thinking. And with that being said, that's going to do it. Let me know down below where you think Golden Tate's going to go in your opinion on Golden Tate himself. Do you think he can still produce very good numbers like he has in the past? Just let me know. Let me know down below who you think Golden Tate, what team he should go to, what team he should sign with, and why. Let me know why as well. And if you have any, difference of opinions with me, let me know down below. I'd love to, respond to any comments down there. So yeah, with that being said, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And until next time, I'll see y'all.